Hi everybody, this is me Hasini Lakshminarayanan here. This is the First Step YouTube channel where I am interviewing young achievers, and this is the first step in association with the CIT, Chennai Institute of Technologies, which is the second most top college in Tamil Nadu. And as our guest today, we have Nalia. Nalia is a young author. She is also very much inspired by nanotechnology, and she has a mission to end the global usage of fossil and fuels. She is currently working and building her prototype for the mission, and I am very much curious to invite her and learn a lot from her as well. You have a mission to end the global usage of fossil fuels. So, what is this mission all about, and what kind of action have you taken so far? And is there anything you would like to tell to the people watching on reducing the usage of fossils and fuels? That's my
Yeah,
question.
so I think something that's always shocked me is like our global consumption of fossil fuels is just so insanely high. And we don't really have that much time left. We're seeing these rapid changes and we do need to do something about that quickly. And so beside looking at that and researching it, I decided I wanted to actually build projects in this field because it's never too early to start. So what I did was I started looking deeply into fusion energy and solar energy and actually applying my knowledge. And so I delved pretty deeply into those, and I was reading research papers and I was learning physics to further understand it. And what I did, I built products in both. So within fusion, I ended up designing a spacecraft that would be fusion propelled, ultra efficient, ultra fast, and then paired with these solar cell wings type thing to kind of make it even more fast. And then in solar energy, I worked on a few months on designing a better solar panel because I had the goal of creating a solar panel that would be flexible and transparent because it could go in your window, it could go in your car, it could go in your phone. So I did that leveraging nanomaterials like graphene conducting electrodes and quantum dots, materials like that. And so I worked quite a while on that, and now I'm trying to actually get funding to potentially build a prototype of that. So those are the kind of things I've done within the energy sector. And then I've built a few things within hackathons and challenges. So I just built a carbon sequestration project. And I might be building a prototype of that over the summer as well. We'll see. But I think my advice to the audience listening right now would just be educating yourself about these kinds of things, not only about the statistics, which you can easily find on fossil fuels, but educate yourself about these different energy sources like solar energy, like fusion energy, and understand them on a deep level. And just try and build projects because really that would be really helpful if you could come up with some kind of innovative solution within an energy and intersect your different kind of knowledge points and things like that, because building projects is definitely super, super valuable. And even though it is definitely difficult, I think anybody can do it if you just get started, and it all starts with exposure and research.
Definitely, it's so true. And I guess all of the people should be aware that there are these kind of resources which could change people's life in just a second. So my next question is like, you are very much passionate about sustainable energy, specifically where it intersects with nanotechnology. And could you tell us why you are so much put into nanotechnology?
Yeah, for sure. So again, I think it was just exposure for me. So I knew I was really interested in the energy sector. Obviously, actually, it started off as broad as the environmental sector, really, really broad sector. And so I did research. I discovered, okay, I'm really passionate about sustainable energy, actually. And then through these different kinds of exposures and research, I discovered nanotech, and nanomaterials can be used in so many different fields. I really feel like nanotech will impact every single field of work in the future. And I saw the impact that it had on the energy sector, and I was just fascinated. So really, it just starts with the research and exposure, and then getting interested in something. And I think the best thing is when you find something you love, but then you find something else that you love and you intersect
Exactly.
it. Because when you find these intersections, that's where groundbreaking ideas can be found that other people haven't thought of. Because, for example, if you are in artificial intelligence, for example. That's a pretty broad field, but so I don't know if it's the best example, but if you're really into artificial intelligence and then you're really into I don't know, nanotechnology and brain computer interfaces, and then you intersect all of these to create some really innovative idea. A lot of people may not be interested in that specific intersection, so you're coming up with ideas that no one else has thought of. So that's a really big thing as well, just intersecting your different areas of interest.
True. I mean, you see, you have also done it through writing. You're also an author, right? So, apart from this, you're also an author, and your book has been mentioned as the best selling author, right? And you wrote your first book when you were 7. It's amazing. I mean, that is really incredible, I'll have to say. And now that has led you to publish your very own novel. So, tell us about your journey on writing for the past, I guess, 7 years. Now you're very much 15,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, I'm 15 now.
Yeah,
So yeah, I've always really loved to write. I love putting down my ideas on paper, and I specifically loved writing fantasy because that's where you can just create all these
every
creatures,
child
your
loves
own world.
fantasy.
Yeah, it's just awesome because it's just you, your imagination, it's just you can include magic. It's pretty cool. So that's what I've always kind of loved to do. And so I started off by writing short stories. And through that, it developed into these longer chapter books, like 100 pages type thing. And then that developed into novels because I love to read and I love reading novels. And so I saw the kind of power that these novels can have. And I said, I want to have that same kind of impact on my reader because I've been just completely moved by some books. So in grade 3, I think I was 7 years old. I wrote my first novel. And I just kept writing novels from there. And I did still keep writing short stories as well. So I was getting my stories published in an anthology here and there. Then I got one published in a more competitive anthology when I was in.
Definitely, you will run a lot when you're going to write. And, you have won numerous awards. Literally. See, if I'm going to start mentioning it, then it's going to take a long time. But then, which one is your most favorite? And could you tell us why?
Okay. Yeah. So first I would say I don't think like awards define your success.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people pin like their happiness on one specific award and oh, if I get that award, I'll be happy forever. I don't think that's kind of the thing. So like I've received some awards definitely, but I don't think like they are defining of anyone. And I feel like a lot of people believe that. So I just want to say that first. In terms of my favorite awards, interesting question. I guess placing second nationally for the science fair was a pretty cool recognition to get just because I'd been working on designing an intervention to decrease cellular screen time in middle school girls for about 2 years. So I started off in science fair, I think grade 7, and then I won my school science fair, and then I went to regionals. I don't think I placed from there, but then in grade 8, I went again to regionals, and then I placed there and then I placed at nationals, I think. So yes, I placed second nationally at the Canada-wide science fair, which was cool. And I guess it was just because I'd worked really hard at it for a few years and it was something I was really passionate about, and just making impact on these students. It was a great experience because definitely there were times when the intervention wasn't working. I had to tweak it, but I ended up being able to decrease cellular screen time in teens by 2 hours per person per day, which was pretty awesome to do. So I would say that would be one of my favorites.
Amazing. I mean, you yourself are an inspiration. Who is your inspiration?
Um, for me, I have like several mentors who I really look up to. So I'm a part of this program called the Knowledge Society, and they're like different directors for different cities. And my director is Ian Lockhart. He is absolutely incredible. So he's really helped me this year, definitely, and pushed me way out of my comfort zone to do things like hackathons and challenges and just exposing me to different opportunities. So immensely grateful for him. And then I definitely look up to like my dad as well. He's a really big role model for me, who has pushed me to do these kinds of things that push me and get me out of my comfort zone as well. And he's given me these opportunities that I'm just so grateful for, because I definitely am really privileged to be able to do these kinds of things and, have the resources to be able to research, like have a laptop, be able to join these kinds of programs. So I'm definitely grateful for him as well. And then I would say another really big role model in my life is my sister. She's only 2 years older than me, but I really look up to her as well. She's like my best friend, so love her as well.
And that's really amazing. One thing is from the author part of question. How do you manage marketing your books?
Yeah, so on the marketing side, I think that's mainly kind of the publishing house getting my book into bookstores, but they're located in Europe, so I had to get my book into a lot of bookstores within like Canada. So mainly it's just like calling up bookstores and asking them if they can like order your book, because it's already enlisted in their index of books, or you have to actually get it enlisted, which is kind of a longer process. But that's kind of the main thing. And then just marketing in terms of like leveraging your social media platforms, telling people but I would say mainly it's just calling out bookstores and hustling that.
Yeah, that's amazing. But it's just amazing that you published so many books just being 15. So my next question, a very important question, according to me at least. So have you faced any challenge so far? If so, what kind of challenges have you faced, and how did you overcome it? And is there any sort of message which you would want to tell to the people watching on how do you think people should take up their challenges and face it?
Yeah, so I think the biggest challenge I faced was kind of in the publishing process. I'm very lucky to say that's my biggest challenge in life. So again, privilege. But I would say, so like in grade 6, when I was trying to get published, just like getting this influx of rejections, and that was definitely a little bit disheartening, because I was like, okay, I'm querying like 100 agents and publishing houses, like hopefully one of them will say yes, but nobody did say yes, and it was, I guess, a little bit sad, but I had the perseverance to move on. And that, I think, is the important part of the story, because if I didn't do that, then I never wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to be published. So I went back to the drawing board. I ended up writing another book, getting my editor to go through everything again, and then going like through the publishing process. And it was like a 2-year process from the time I wrote it to the time it got published. So definitely it's pretty lengthy. But my main takeaway from that is, we think of failure as a bad thing, and like I feel like that's pretty common conception about failure. But failure is something we actually need to learn to embrace, because it leads to growth. It leads to long-term growth. And so it's something you need to embrace. And when things get hard, like persevere, because sometimes when we're humans, we get excited about something, and then we face a roadblock and we just stop. But we have to like actually get through that, because if you really care about something, then you have to have the ability to try and get past that
Yeah,
and persevere.
I mean that's definitely right. So I mean, I have my last question for you. What are your future plans, and is there any new project which you're currently working on? If so, could you
Yeah.
tell us what?
Yeah, definitely. So I just finished up a carbon sequestration project. So again, I might be building a prototype of that, and then I'm going to try and build a prototype of the solar cell that I designed, and hustle like lab space to do that. So those are two kind of big things right now. And then I'm working on another novel that's going through the editing phases right now with my editor. So hopefully that'll be done mid-June, and then I'll get to sending it to the publishing house. Should be good. And then I'm also writing a children's book series on emerging technology like blockchain, artificial intelligence, nanotech, just to get students more exposed to STEM. Because I think that's really important, and it's going to be heavily impacting the future. And then kind of following along with that brand of like talking about kind of these kinds of things that are going to influence your future with young people. I'm starting a podcast with my sister as well. So that's in the makings right now. I think we'll start that up next month, which should be good. And those are kind of the main projects that I'm working on right now. Just gonna be doing more projects within climate and within the sustainability sector and networking, and just trying to learn as much as I possibly can.
That's amazing, and all the best for all of your plans which you have currently, and hope that all would work out successfully.